High Priestess Empress Amala Bandera. Welcome all to the channel. Welcome all to the vibes. As you can see from the title, this is a collective live reading, but we're going to see what the urgent message is. Emphasis on the quotations because time is an illusion and energy is fluid. Now, with that term urgent popping through here, this is going to be a message that whenever you see this, it's the moment for you to see it. So if you're catching this live, wonderful. If you're catching this on a replay, wonderful as well. First thing I do want to say is we are now at 1 degree of Capricorn for the moon. The moon is in Capricorn right now, 1 degree. So if you are a Capricorn sun, for the next 2.5 days, the essence of what occurs during the 25th of December, that Christ oil, the ascension, the descension to the ascension, which now means that when the Christ oil descends into the sacrum to rise into Bethlehem, which is your solar plexus, and then rises again 2.5 days and into the brain again, it's awakening dormant cells. That process is happening for you right now if you are a Capricorn sun. So during these 2.5 days, you really want to place yourself in the position of whatever fasting means to you, whatever being in a space of harmony means to you, especially for these 2.5 lucid moments, aka days. All right, so that's for any of you. Whenever the moon is in your sun sign, that process is happening. Okay, so give y'all a few to tune in before we get even further into the message. See what's going on. I was gonna do a pre-poll before this. I said, nah, let me just go through with the messages with y'all on the live, so we could see what's up, so I could tap more into the frequency, see what the vibe is. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. All praise due to the Most High. Connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe and Papa Universe. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angels, spirit guides, protectors, warriors that guide and protect me. I connect my heart and soul to my heart and soul, higher self, infinite frequency as an extension of source. Ashe, 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 gracias a la misericordia. Infinite gratitude source. What is the message? What are the downloads here for the collective? You know who you'll have here, and you know the message that has to be relayed. What is the message here for the collective? We're going to begin with an archetype energy, okay? We're going to begin with an archetype. And let me see something. Let's see if I have anything here. When we speak of an archetype, you're speaking of the original of its kind, the first image, the inherited emerging pattern, the initial and eternal energy. So this is something that could be passed on, because archetypes are patterns. They're universal, timeless, infinite, contain both light and dark. They carry the use of images. They insist on the imagination. They insist on multiplicity. They insist on the collective, because it is intended for the collective to grow. The challenges and wonders the archetypes present to the collective move the collective toward their growth edge and toward the unknown, toward a deeper and more creative experience of life. Archetypes captivates the collective's mind, heart, so that the collective is compelled to take the next step on their inner quest. So we're going to pull from the archetype deck, just in case people are wondering, what is an archetype? Oh, there you go, my love. There you go, my darling. Okay, let's see. I have to make sure the mic was on. Here's a message that's coming through. If you notice that you have a focus that's more so on what's happening next or the future and it's causing anxiety, do what you can do now in the moment, even if that means breathe, even if that means go for a walk, even if that means go for a jog. For some of you, there's an emphasis on moving the body when you are unable to decide what is the best next step for you. Especially if you watched the previous message and there's a emphasis here on that chariot card, the message that was coming through with the essence of the chariot and the sword, where your next move has to be a best move. For some of you, that may have come across as a slight overload, but we'll see what's going on here. That's not for everyone. So it's important for you to, be compassionate with yourself along your process. Don't ever feel rushed by anyone. All right. What do we have? The Pilgrim. Wow. Deciding on whether to take on a long journey. And then you have the Self at the bottom of the deck. 20 and 29. So something in regards to a 9-year cycle between 2020, occurring now, between 2020 and 2029. Okay. The Pilgrim, the wanderer, the traveler, the apprentice. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart toward what it loves. So before you even go into the text of what this even means, this is something that is a part of your genetic makeup or your bloodline, your soul, that it's been passed on to you to wander, to travel, to figure out more about yourself, to go on those type of adventures that allows you to learn more about yourself. Okay. Now, when this energy is not balanced of the pilgrim, you may find yourself aloof, non-committal, and flaky. To go deeper into this energy, a book that is recommended is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost and Mamine by David White. We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? That's really what was coming through here. Now, you are also someone that is extremely rare with this pearl. It's not a black pearl. However, it's not one of those white ones either. It has a slight tint to it. It's almost as if you know when to show your authenticity, but then there's another part to it where you may be holding yourself back and not showing your true self by not committing to something that you truly see as a value to you. So going back to the previous message, this could have something to do with the reason why it may be a little bit difficult for you to take the next step is because of the validation you may be unconsciously or consciously seeking from the external world, where in that sense, whatever it is that you're choosing to do that literally brings you peace because it's energetically towards the approval, whether it's again unconscious or consciously seeking approval from others, as in basically doing something to prove a point. Do it because It's part of your pilgrimage. It's something that your soul and your spirit literally, decided before coming here, this is what we're doing. But before you can do this, before you can fulfill this venture, there are certain things you have to do first, certain challenges you have to surpass. And once again, those challenges, you'll know more about that in your astrology with your Saturn placement. And Saturn is also the planet that rules your root chakra. Granted, it is red, but it's connected to the root, the earth, so it's more Saturnian than anything. And with that being said, it's connected to, once you are aware of what your Saturn placement is, it'll help you with the activation of your root chakra, which will then influence the way you create, or your ability to create, the sacral chakra, to then have the willpower to manifest it. Solar plexus. Okay. Now, Saturn will put you through those tests, to get you, to help you with the awareness of basic trust, the feeling of being secure, safe, things of that nature. All right. So for the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. And that's another thing that Saturn gives you as a reward once you learn those lessons, or once you get through the karma. Karma is just another word for lesson. Dharma is basically the reward where now you're living your purpose. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life. See that? But the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Speaking of what we was picking up here with this self, coming to that, and even it's saying trust yourself. This energy here is coming through as trust yourself, is what it's saying. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door toward a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon, your spirit needs it. So there could be a situation here where you're feeling as though you can't make this move unless you have this. And that's causing you to not do anything at all. It can literally paralyze your movement in terms of you are aware of what to do. It's very similar to the word try. That's what this energy is. When you feel as though you have to have this in order to do the next, instead of seeing what you have right in front of you, basically someone who is needing more to do what they can do, what they're feeling as though they would need more to do with. When you're trying to do something, it can literally set you back. That's what it does. Trying literally sets you back. It's either you're going to do it or you're not. So when you're saying that you're trying to do something, all you're going to be doing is sending out the signal that what you're doing, that you're not actually doing it. And then you have to, not that you have to, but you place yourself in the position to go backwards rather than moving forward. Let's look at what this is speaking to here. Let me go to the astrology cards. Show me more about this for the collective. I see why this came through as urgent. Some of you feel as though you need more time to do something, but now is the time. Or you need more information, especially with Venus and Aries, now that Venus has passed its shadow phase after being retrograde. You're now choosing, it's placing you in a position to choose what it is that really aligns with your sacred beliefs or your sacred values. And then with Mars and Leo, these two, divine feminine, divine masculine energies are both in fire signs. And fire is all about action. Okay. And you'll have this energy alongside of you up until next year, where you can literally manifest what it is that you truly desire, with Venus connecting to those type of desires. Welcome, Pantera Soul Fan, Fatima. Shout out to the members of the channel. Welcome, beloved. Greetings, Goddess. 7:14 on the screen, 5:50 on the clock. So 7:14, that is connected to our beloved moon in Cancer phase, or third decan Cancer. 7:14, 5:50, 55. It's 5:51 now. Let's see what the message is. Uranus, or Uranus, however you want to pronounce it. But there you go, Uranus. Now, there's going to be a cazimi. Basically, that means when a planet crosses the sun, it enters the heart of the sun. So there'd be basically, it's a planet in conjunction, in exact conjunction to the sun, in the same sign, obviously. With Uranus and Taurus, it's at 27 degrees. Let me see something. Where are we right now? The sun is in Taurus at 25. Okay. So there's going to certainly be, during that moment, that Uranus cazimi is going to basically, it's going to feel as though you're having an epiphany. Now, that's already been happening after, or during and after, this full moon in Scorpio we just had, where it was an opposition to the full moon in Scorpio, Uranus and Taurus. So it was helping you to see what was the best route to take. Now, that conjunction between Uranus and the sun is basically you, by the full moon that we just had in Scorpio, releasing negativity. Now you get this urge to suddenly go towards what it is that you want to do, especially after clearing up the space to do so. So with that being said, trust the ideas that are coming to you. Trust where you're being guided to go, or where you're being guided to move away from. Some of you could already be feeling this energy as we speak. Okay. Give me 1 second. I want to... That's actually on the 17th. If you're looking at it, it's around there, right? Yeah, 2 degrees from now. Yeah, the 17th. Around this time, it'll be exact, which is wild. Okay. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Just had a moment, because on the 17th at this time is the exact point of that Uranus cazimi, or Uranus cazimi, because it'll be at 27 degrees 18 this. Okay, and the screen was just on 517. Okay, what do you want to tell the collective here? Uranus and Gemini, something could be developing by the time Uranus steps into Gemini, which is also occurring here soon too. Okay, so that could be what that's come, what was, excuse me, because the words are not coming out right now, but this could be the reason as to why. Let's see what this urgent, and then the quotations around urgent messages about, is because you could feel that sense of urgency building up. I'm hearing, do what is equivalent to you being ready, so you don't have to get ready. And when that moment is approaching, in regards to you being prepared for when the moment is ready. Okay. What is, let me see what the Let me look at this. Oh, wait. Because that type of energy, the conjunction between the sun and Uranus at 27, 27 is what? That's a Gemini degree. What the fuck? That's right. Okay. That's literally a Gemini degree. It's going to have you breaking from some sort of routine. You may even meet new people that will help you to step out of a routine. These new people align with your values or wherever you are at this moment. Because again, especially if you're the type of person that has utilized this full moon in Scorpio to your advantage and clearing out and releasing negativity, yeah, you're going to begin to see the effects of that or the reward from doing so. And if not, then this is where you'll experience disrupted plans or changes that you didn't want to happen that causes you to be impulsive. This is definitely going to be a favorable time for utilizing social media and the internet, technology, helping you to grow. Right? We're about to enter Gemini season already. Yo, what is time? For real, for real. Because you look at it backwards, it certainly does say emit, and it moves the way light would. At this point, you can't really measure light because there's different speeds. At least that's the way I see it. But because not every human on the planet got the same type of speed. So as above, so below. If we gonna keep the integrity of that energy, you know what I'm saying? So Uranus enters Gemini on the 7th of July. Some of you could be coming up with an app. There's a lot that's going to be going on with technology or the way information is translated. Or the way information reaches the collective. Huh. There's going to be sudden changes in medical and service fields, churches, higher educational systems. On a daily basis, you may see with this Uranus and Gemini, that there'll always be some sort of newer information or discoveries, and especially with technology. So you could also physically be having this upgrade too, mentally, with Gemini being ruled by Mercury. So there could be some sort of upgrade that's happening here that could also, an upgrade with your physical body that could also have you feeling this sense of urgency of having to do something, or you're no longer in this space of overthinking of what to do next. You're just doing it. Some of you could even feel this sense of a version of you that has returned, but has returned rejuvenated. You know what I mean? Let's get one more. Okay. First house. Well, you could be a Taurus rising. That message could certainly be significant for you, especially with Uranus and Taurus right now. It will be in your first house if you're a Taurus rising. And then you got second house at the bottom of the deck. Once it goes into Gemini, it'll be going into your second house. So there could be a lot of changes in finances for Taurus rising, first house energy, due to the fact that Uranus is in Taurus. If you're not a Taurus, this could just be the way you are communicating with the wisdom that is coming through your body. These sudden shifts in regards to your potential, taking the lid off the potential by acting on your awakening, taking action on, your enlightenment. You could even be coming across the people differently than you've ever did before. Some of you could be surprising people by your appearance right now, or by your vibration. If they're not around you, people can sense you. Let me get one more here. I'm getting the sense that you're no longer hiding with it, saying what people see and the impression you give. The impression you give now has to do with, the awakenings that you've had, this inner awakening, especially with the pilgrim here. And then the self, what's behind it wants to show up. The star born, wow. And then the heart right up under that. Something about using your words, especially with Uranus and Gemini, utilizing technology to help you to get your stories out. And something you've been saying, something you've been writing, you've been seeing it crystal clear, and it's coming to fruition. I'm hearing keep that, because there's a lot of heart energy here with all of this showing up. Keep this new idea close to you, protect it as if it's your child. Because in the past, you may have involved too many people just from the kindness of your heart, and it possibly didn't hatch the way it was intended to. Yeah, protect your vision as if it's your child, especially with Sagittarius, as I see. Protect your vision as if it were your child. Look at this. And then you got the seed. Yo. Hold up, because the river is also here. Ooh. Heart chakra just fluttered a bit. And it's making me think of the River Jordan. The Jordan, or 23, number 23. The Jordan symbolizes this current in the instance of the healing of Naaman of Syria, who thought that he could just as well wash the rivers of... Not what I'm looking for. The river represents a current thought when we're looking at this metaphysically, biblically, esoterically, biblically. The river represents a current thought. Yeah, so whatever this idea you have, it could be something that it's only something you can see, because this is connected to the Philosopher's Stone energy. You could have Libra 29 degrees in your chart. Even this, as I'm placing the cards down, some of you can see this geometric shape that's just coming through here. Flower of life, if you would. But certainly protect this idea, this thought, as if it were your child, a newborn. You wouldn't have just anyone around. That's how pure this idea is, especially with Uranus that's going to go into Gemini. You really not going to allow anyone to distract your ass on some shit. No pun intended. With Uranus. Okay. Anyway. Wait a minute. Yo, this is it's intriguing right now. It's very intriguing right now. Because you'll see success between now and 2029 for sure. This could be something that you've decided since 2020, and people think you may have just, you know what I'm saying, have wiped your hands clean from it. And that could be, let me go to this deck. Let me go over here. The Zodiac Intuit Oracle, 108 cards. Meditation is certainly going to help you doing your mantras 108 times daily, even if it's just a word, 3 words, whatever the case may be. But meditation is certainly going to assist you, especially once again, the pilgrim. It landed on your, something lands on your lap. This idea landed on your lap years ago. Possibly it was an idea that you had since you were 8, because it's 8:30 on the screen. And you may have felt, let's say you say you're past 30. You may have felt as though by 30 years old, you were supposed to do that. 606 on the time. I have a card that's literally says 606. Focus on the mission, not how. Your story is still unfolding. This is intense. Yeah, it is. And with Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, this is the planet that rules Aquarius, okay, is going to connect directly. It's going to be in the heart of the sun in 2 days. Some of you possibly already have, or you may feel as though you're waking up differently. You're not who you used to be, or at least if you're not who you used to be in terms of, there's a part of you that's from your past that's coming back, a part of you, your essence that's coming back, but it's not the same version. It's an upgrade. There you go. It's an upgrade. You have officially upgraded. Show me. Show me what this is here. The train, moving on, life's journey, new endeavor, going away, one direction, on track, focus, on time, keep going forward, going with the flow, steady climb, no resistance. The call. I'm hearing the horn, but it's coming through as the call. Gabriel, could be significant. Your dreams. A lot of messages coming through your dreams here. But and you got the 6 of Gemini. What's this? Scuba diver. 4 of Pisces, go within. Observation, 0 point, self-examination, exploring the unconscious mind and the void, desire to know, self-reflection, disconnecting deep thoughts, subliminal. Protect those deep thoughts, even subliminal messages. There are subliminal messages that's making it very clear about an ending that is also a new beginning. This 10 here, Gemini, Pisces, you see it twice, because notice how these two, five. Something you see 5 times and you recognize that, okay, after the 3rd time, this is what, you're seeing. If you don't get up out of here with that, I get it, but you don't be coming, and literally there's instructions before people come into the live about what not to do. What's this? Universe. Wow. Unending. It's not over. Something is not over yet. I'm telling you. There you go with the Scorpio energy. 5:33 on the screen. Cancer season, July could be significant. It was just 6:09 on the time. Something, let's say, if you were preparing for something and you normally get started on this idea in July. But you starting now makes all the difference later on down the line. So let's say if this is a class you want to take, instead of waiting for classes to start, you know what I'm saying, and getting up on the information as to what's going on in that class, you starting now, it allows the process of that course to be way smoother for you. As above, so below, literally. The journey is occurring as above, so below. There's an upgrade of your senses, because as above, Uranus is in Taurus, which has to do with your senses, your five senses. What is this? Uranus energy, Uranus energy. What is it? What is this? As above, so below. As above, so below. Clarify what's going on. As above, so below. What is going on? Clarify. As above, so below. What is going on? As above, so below. Mastering something here. And the moon right now is in Capricorn. This is a 9 of Capricorn. An ending of a lesson. Yes, because even by the time Uranus changes signs, Saturn will already be in Aries. So, yeah. The intensity of this is how clean the slate is, and how even the playing field is at this point when Saturn goes into Aries on the 24th. But first you have this epiphany during this Cazimi, when Uranus and the Sun conjunct on the 17th, which is in 2 days. Stay disciplined, work smart, not hard. Focus, create a structure, training. Yeah, see, teaching. Everything was just saying just now about getting prepared beforehand, being ready so you don't have to get ready. Learning a skill in the flow, commanding presence. And once again, that information about the way people see you, the way you're coming across now to the collective, or people that are around you. Tell me more about as above, so below. You got master. And speaking of Aries, there goes Aries right there. Yeah, see, something about Cancer season, the month of July specifically, or September, before Saturn goes retrograde, and then it goes back into Pisces before it officially goes back into Aries in February of 2026. So there's a lot of reflecting from the awakener that's helping you, from the challenger Saturn that's helping you, the finisher, or the transformer Pluto, you know. Tell me more about as above, so below for the collective. This is something you've been wanting to do since you were a child. You're being given, I feel as though you're being given an upgrade in order for you to be just as adaptable as you were when you were younger. But the only difference now is that you have the spiritual development to be able to withstand why this idea, why this thought was even a thought of yours to begin with. You're in an anomaly is what this is coming through as, especially with the word rebellious. Strong-willed. Strong-willed and receptive to the seed that was planted within you, this idea, this dream, this goal that was planted within you. Wasn't planted within anybody else. It's yours for a reason. Do whatever it is, whatever this is connected to your inner child or something that you desire to do. Very strong on 8 to 12, because 839 on the screen, 8 to 12. master youth, mutable signs, mastering the way you think, Gemini, the way you analyze, Virgo, the way you see or envision, Sagittarius, and the way you believe in all of these things, Pisces. So you can even look into your chart and see, you know, those areas that are connected to those houses, respectively to those signs, third house, sixth house, ninth house, 12th house. So they're 3, 6, 9, 12. That, yeah, okay. 3, 6, 9, 12. Third grade, sixth grade, ninth grade, 12th grade could be significant. 6:16 on the time right now, 6:40 on the screen. Quite a profound message. One more. What do we got? Library, Akasha. Okay, this is something that's a part of your Akash, your Akashic records. Look at that, 8 of Capricorn. 8. I'm telling you that 8. August could be significant. The 8th of August, or you have a connection to Sekhmet with the 8-8 portal. Library, knowledge, learning, history, information, hidden documents. Looking beneath the surface, author, reading, writing. Speaking of poet and the story, I just got the Edgar Allan Poe. Some of you could love some of Edgar Allan Poe's work. Or the Bronx could be significant too, because his house, that house is in the Bronx. What is that? What is that area? Bainbridge. But now Bane, that character, I think that's from Batman, right? That's coming through too. Or bat could be significant, whether if it's baseball or the bat, the animal. Let's see, because that's in here. Let's see something. I think it is. At least I thought it was. Is it? Yeah, it is. I just gotta find it. Let me see. Yeah, it's definitely something about a bat. Darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth. Before emerging, the bat awaits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. Okay, so there you go. That's perfect for that moment of the conjunction between Uranus and the sun. Because this is some form of insight that you may have finally been able to ground after a period of adversity. Ace of Swords energy. The bat is a master, boom, shakalaka, of the subtle senses, of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. The bat shows up to signify the ending of a chapter and the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. So once again, see how we was just mentioning about the effects of, not so much the effects of, but a previous version of you upgraded, but leaving behind obviously the energy that's not upgraded. 744 on the screen, lion energy, love to see it. Yeah, so now you're in this stage that you are ready to actually manifest this in, bring this in. You have the maturity, the wisdom to bring whatever this idea, this thought in, but once again, protect it as if it's your child. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly part of the reason why I even picked up this deck, and it's now showing up at the bottom of the deck. Fine print, detail, look closer, deep dive, which came out here. with the scuba diving, deep thoughts, reading between the lines, information, and then you have another 7 here, right behind this card, optical illusion, not what it seems. Whatever the trap was is not what it seems. It's the trip you had to take in order to to change some sort of predictive programming or to get you out of some type of projection, someone else's idea about what you should do. You could have Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, let's go to the tower. I want to see what this is about. Show me the current energy. Show me the current energy. Accelerated motion forward. Okay, there you go. So once again, that urgency to move forward. Now my heart chakra just fluttered. Trust the message from your heart chakra when you're moving forward. Test whether the energy is causing you to feel drained or is it empowering you. If it's something that empowers you, go towards that. If it puts you in this space of you feel as though something is missing, something to that effect, it's because something is, and it's you won't be fulfilled taking that route. Whoever that's for, you'll get it. What's the challenge here of this accelerated motion that the collective has right now? Another 8. Emotional withdrawal, Saturn in Pisces. The challenge is going to be Saturn closing out its cycle from being in Pisces. Now, Pisces has a lot to do with the dream state, has a lot to do with illusions. It's very spiritual. It encompasses all of the signs. But it's also connected to the 12th house, which has to do with rejuvenation. Rehab is also part of the 12th house. Prisons are part of the 12th house. Hospitals are part of the 12th house. So the challenge is being able to respond to when you feel as though something will literally put you in this energy of feeling drained. And it's not something you want to move forward with, or it puts you back in this energy of something that you have to release. Especially for those of you who could possibly be encountering situations or people who want to reconcile with you, and you still feel some sort of discontent that you used to feel that led to the separation. Obviously, that is something that is not for you to even rekindle or rebuild with. You have to be able to, be courageous enough to trust when your body is signaling yes and no. Some of you could even be looking into dowsing as well. What's the foundation of this? 8s are very significant. Wow, the foundation of this is your passion igniting. Ooh. Yeah. But there's also a chance here of doing something over again, expecting a different result, because with this 8 of Wands and this Ace of Wands, that's a 9, that makes sense as to why this walking away from things that no longer serve you is in the challenging position of the 8 of Cups. It literally blocks you from even tapping into this idea, feeling as though, yes, this is something you can do, because you have the love for it, but in order for you to know and see it clearly, you have to get past the throat chakra. Okay, so there may be a certain situation in terms of, you know, where you have to let go of certain situations, but, you know, it's not something. Look at this shit, Ace of Swords that we was picking up on earlier. Two aces, by the way. Subconsciously, you're clear about what to do next. I love that. Subconsciously, you are conscious of what to do next. What we were picking up this Ace of Swords was having to do with the insight that you receive with this Uranus Kazemi that happens when the planet Uranus is in conjunction to the sun in Taurus at 27 degrees, 27 being the Gemini degree. You get the information or this new insight, especially after the adversity. This is also reflective of, you know, triumph after adversity, the Ace of Swords. You know, so let's see. Whew, okay. What's in the immediate past here? Let's look at this. What's in the immediate past? Wow. That's why, bro. Everything we've been saying right now is literally coming out piece by piece. So you're seeing something unfold in front of you piece by piece. It's almost as if you I just saw the Matrix, where you have this ability to slow time down and literally grab fragments of yourself that you may have left behind and just grabbing those pieces, because you know what I'm saying, you just able to do that. Now with this sacrifice card coming out in the immediate past, this is the Hangman. Why is this? Okay, I don't know how many of y'all saw that video of this boy attempting to hop the gate, but that was the most miserable failed ever. He ended up getting caught by the gate, and it turned into a whole nother perspective of what a Hangman card appears to be. The man's pants got stuck on the gate and it hung his ass upside down. He did it to himself, but whatever. But all I said was, when I saw that, all I said to myself, I said, well, what the fuck? That's the Hangman. So this is significant now because it's in your immediate past. Seeing things from a different perspective. Muddy waters, but seeing it from a different perspective. Seeing muddy waters from a different perspective. When did this happen? Let me see. I want to see. When did this happen? God, okay. Libra season could be significant. He got the Balance card, Justice card, 12, 11, in that order. When did this happen? When you felt as though you were going backwards. Okay. Moment of silence. You didn't see this as seeing it from a different perspective. You were going backwards, but you didn't see this as seeing something from a different perspective. You just felt as though you were failing. Or at least you had energies around you with this being your challenge, because this has to do with outer situations. There was the challenge was certainly for some of you has to do with religion. Religion, or what is success, when you are supposed to attain some sort of success based on what others think the success should happen, when it should happen. This is what I'm saying. Whoever this message is for, you are an anomaly. You're a pioneer, especially with Saturn going into Aries. That could be why too, especially with Neptune and Aries too. The ruler of Pisces, Neptune and Aries. So you're in the space to even have a different belief system, which is a major deal because it changes the way you see yourself. Pisces right before Aries energy, or beginning of a new adventure, Aries. The way what you know, Aquarius, influences what you believe, Pisces, and you becoming who you are, the I am, which was, see, Something's this is some of you could be feeling this sense of urgency because of this Kazemi that's happening in 2 days. Again, Kazemi is when the planets in the heart of the sun passes the heart of the sun. So it gives you this heightened sense of awakening about your purpose, your soul's journey. Your awareness becomes heightened because the sun has to do with your awareness. And with Uranus there, speaking of awakening, there's an awareness of an awakening. An awareness of an awakening it's just even those two words, awareness of an awakening, is not enough to even express what happens with you as a mind, body, and soul. If you have a soul, well, you better have a soul being over here. Because not everything has a soul, however, everything has a spirit. That could be, you know what I'm saying? The awareness, the awakening of what it means to have a soul. And the soul is immortal, it's eternal. And if anyone has had an NDE, a near-death experience, that's what was coming through about that is part of your story is to assist the collective in recognizing the power of a soul. That instead of one checking out of here completely, come right back. And that's another thing too. People have to stop wanting to rush out of here, saying that they don't want to come back here to this planet. All that does, it literally sends a signal to the heart, earth and heart. They can be interchangeable. If you just, once again, put the H at the end of earth, at the beginning, that is your heart, which is what you have that keeps you going. So all that is doing in terms of getting out of here, not wanting to come back here, is sending the signal to the heart of just shut down. Okay. 6:33 on the time. Yeah. With the moon card at the bottom of the deck, a lot of majors showing up. Major events that are showing up, especially since December 11th of 2018. The merge between the shadow and the light, the merge between the feminine and the masculine, which is a big deal in terms of that's part of that epiphany or that awakening, is that feminine energy that has been suppressed. And in suppressing the feminine energy, that's basically suppressing the womb or the sacral or the waters, causing anything in its close proximity to dry up because there is no water. It's kind of is bringing me to the story of Oshun, where they felt as though she wasn't necessary until they recognized that without those waters, you can't even build. So what's crowning this energy here? What's crowning this energy here? Mars in Capricorn, recognition and reward. 3 of Pentacles. I love that. What's at the forefront of your mind is you recognizing the lessons you have gone through. Mars in Capricorn. but also utilizing your fighting spirit to use your feelings wisely, which is helping you to say no, and that being the complete sentence. Because even if you feel as though you have to stand alone, even if it's just for a moment, as you're working on this passion that's being ignited, you're not alone. You're surrounded by source, the universe, as you saw in the cards we had earlier here. Okay? Where it was telling you, move on to your new endeavor, life's journey, or the revitalization of a desire you had before, that you were unable to, fulfill it the way you saw fit because of the lessons you had to learn along the way. You know what I mean? I'm also, some of you are really going to be out here surprising people because of who you've become. You're in this first house. People are going to be surprised about what you do next, but not so surprised. 660, well, it was just 660 on the screen. They're not going to, they're going to be surprised or not so surprised because they won't be able, they know that they won't be able to celebrate with you. Some of them are going to be bold and out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? And say, oh, remember what? No, fuck you. Leave. Summer, again, look at that. Summertime could be significant. Whatever this is you have to prepare for, go for it. You know within your heart what this is speaking to for you. Go for it. Okay? Go for it. One more for the crowning energy. One more. The moon. The moon. We're in the waning phases of the moon now. Especially after this full moon in Scorpio we had. Whatever it is that has been reached its point of completion to be released. You could be feeling a lot of that release happening during these waning phases. Which now, what will happen right now during in this waning phase going into the next new moon, which will be a new moon in Gemini, it'll be a clean slate as to the way you process ideas. Especially due to the fact you don't have old energies or currencies around you. I'm hearing old money is not going to make new money. That's for someone. Welcome, Pantera Soul Fam, EVE. Welcome. Look at this. Love begins. Welcome, y'all. Ace of Cups. The river. Speaking of the river from before. The seed, the river, the stone. Show you something. Hold up. Then you have this queen here that is actually the card that is under these. This has to do with that upgrade you're doing. Some of you are going from the queen to the mystic, finally. High priestess, empress mode. You're transforming into that. But you had to first have dominion over your emotions and the way you practically see things. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. More of that feminine energy showing up. XV5. LX. The stone, the eternal, the anchor, the rock. Let me see. Which has to do with being committed, steadfast, loyal, and present. The stone's ability first of all, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. See, somebody definitely got Jupiter in Capricorn or Jupiter in the 10th house or whatever, but this has to do with your expansion coming in slowly. Your gift developing slowly. But when it does, it sticks. A legacy. That's this Three of Pentacles energy too. There's a lot that's being released so that it is a merge between the light and the dark in order for you to see the vision even clearer than before. Clearer than what you've seen it here. You thought you were balanced with seeing this different perspective before, but ooh-wee. This is a deep-ass message. I'll tell you that. I love it, though. This full moon was certainly pivotal, especially at that 22-degree Capricorn. Show me what's next here for the collective. What's next? Wow. I'm telling you. There you go. There you go. Creation, the solar plexus, willpower, manifestations. For some of you, this could be why you've been guided to cleanse out your gut so you can have a more profound connection to it and respond to it. You could be clear about the response that it's giving you about what to do next. Love Begins is still here at the bottom of the deck. Let me get one more. Tell me more about this. Solar plexus chakra. The sun is even coming out right now. Can't make this shit up. The sun just started beaming right now. I don't know if y'all could tell by the screen. The sun started beaming. 6:43 right now. Wow. Come through, Spirit. Come through, Source. Yes. Wow. Wisdom. Ay, 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 ay. 8, 8, 8. There you go. Wow. Holy shit. Y'all are manifesting beyond your own belief. So, that's why I was saying get ready so you don't have to be ready. So this is something you've been doing already. Getting ready so you don't have to be ready. And what's coming in next, you're going to feel as though you're not even ready yet, but it's coming in regardless. It's a higher level commitment. Look at this. Look at this. That shit could be in 2 days. That's the truth. 2 truth cards back to back. The truth of triumph. Ooh. Ooh. Y'all are the truth of what triumphant success actually is. Especially after all of this conflict and defeat. Or quote unquote projections of defeat. Oh my God. Okay. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. This card illustrates that there's a spiritual teacher who's about to influence you or your step in. This card illustrates that there's a spiritual teacher who's about to influence you or your step into your life to impart his or her wisdom. Look around. Is there someone in your life who has the acumen, education, knowledge, and ability to integrate spirituality and its laws into the constraints of the physical world? This is on page 35, which is another 8, which is this. This is on page 35. This is 30. This is okay. This reading is the teacher. Come through, source. Wow. Okay. This can be a compassionate person who offers guidance and inspiration and reminds you that you're so much more than a physical being. You're also a spiritual being with unlimited potential. I'm telling you. Hey. You may have also drawn this card to confirm that it's time to reach out and find an organization or group of kindred souls. Being part of a group where you can be yourself, share your thoughts, and get valuable feedback can infuse you and encourage you to be all that you can be. So let's say there is this group you want to affiliate yourself with. And before you felt as though you didn't have enough to do that or to even initiate that. 770 on the screen, 771 right now, 646. You're in the position of building your empire. So do whatever that is that you feel as though you're not prepared to do so yet. Aim high. Aim higher than high. This energy is supporting you to aim higher than high. To do that thing that is unimaginable. That's what an anomaly is, or a person who's an anomaly. Is they do things that you're the pioneer of doing whatever this is that you're doing. Okay? So you really can't be out here looking for people to, you know what I'm saying, expecting people to understand this thought and idea that is flowing through you. You're the vessel that carries the mechanism for this to actually come to fruition, move that way. All right? Over time, the student often becomes the teacher, so don't be surprised when others seek out and find you. This card of wisdom is letting you know that you have so much to share, whether you realize it or not. The Hierophant. Okay? What is the advice here for the collective? Beautiful messages, y'all, for real. Wow. Ooh. Oh my God. The advice is the heart chakra. Now, with the Ikonya and the crown chakra, oh, that's why this energy was so intense before coming onto this live. Yeah. Some of you may want to go out in the sun while you're listening to this or after this, but make sure you get some sunlight before this lucid moment concludes until we enter the next lucid moment. But yeah, let me see something here. I want to find, is this the text that I use for this? It might not be. No, this book is down there. Shit. I be writing so much, going through notebooks. Let me see something. As we was talking about Earth, the advice is the heart chakra. The advice is to love deeply. Go towards what you love deeply and do that. Now, to love deeply, there's obviously a secure, whelming sense of trust, safety, protection, and being grounded. Okay? There you go. Confirmation. What time is that? 650, that's an 11. Yeah. You've seen all you've had to see from this, what was going on in the past, and seeing things from a different perspectives in order to balance it out. Now with that crown chakra there showing up at the bottom of the deck, subconsciously, this is why the advice of the heart chakra is your advice, because your subconscious mind is stating the following with the crown chakra: I am safe. The universe protects me. I am full of life energy. Because the crown chakra is your connection to the greater world beyond, to a timeless, spaceless place of awe, knowing. When developed, the crown chakra, the seventh chakra, brings you knowledge, wisdom, understanding, spiritual connection, and bliss. For some of you, you're cute that this is happening. You see the number 1000 or 1000, because that connects to the 1000-petaled lotus for the crown chakra. This is where that 108 energy comes around too. And you know what else too? There's 108 solar diameters between the sun and the earth. And if I'm not mistaken, between the other planets too. Spaced out from each other. No, well, not spaced out from each other, but from the solar diameter between the sun and the earth is 108, which is why that number is so significant when you're doing mantras. Because it connects you deeper to source, deeper to the what's going on as above, so below. With the fourth chakra, your heart is basically saying as to why this advice is coming through. Life loves me. I am lovable. I forgive and let go. I receive love every minute of life. This is due to the integration of opposites of the psyche, the mind and the body, male and female, persona and shadow, which is at the crown of your reading. And here you have the crown showing up in the subconscious energy as to why your advice is the heart chakra. But now, let's see, let's get a little bit more here. Wow. You could be bringing in a soulmate, or this idea is an equivalent to a soulmate, going towards what you deeply love with the Six of Cups, memories of love. So once again, that awakening that's happening of the awareness of what it means to have a soul. It's been taken lightly by humanity, which is why immortality is such a out there idea. That's a different conversation. Wow, what's this? Okay. Speak it into existence. See, remember we was talking about the throat chakra here as your challenge of not being able to release things that no longer serve you, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, which is why Saturn has come through to change your beliefs. And once that changes, anything that had a deep impression on you that will prevent you from utilizing your voice or speaking things into existence, because in the beginning was the word is with God, and then that God is you. You're the one with the words. You got here, prosperity begins, with further clarification of the advice. Prosperity begins and positive movement forward. Accelerated motion is your current energy. And your advice has to do with positive movement forward. But you have to go with your heart chakra, which is why what's happening next is you being able to manifest based off of the lessons you learned from Saturn. So see where Saturn is in your chart right now. Okay? See where Saturn is in your chart right now. It's in Pisces. So for Pisces rising, that'll be your first house. For Aries Rising, that'll be your 12th house. Saturn is going into your first come the 24th of this month. For Taurus, 11th house. Gemini, 10th house. So let's start again. With Saturn, if you are a Pisces rising, it's in your first house, okay? And this is having to do with your imagination and intuition. For Aries rising, Saturn in Pisces is in your 12th house. That has to do with the leader, a new adventure, your life force, that I am energy. Taurus, no, wait. I just described what Aries first house is. Why is this happening right now? Because I'm doing it backwards. So let me do it forwards. This shit is... Okay. We're going to start again. So, see, that's definitely significant in itself, though. Saturn, for the collective in general, it's been helping you with where you may have one foot in and one foot out. Where you may be deciding, should I go here? Should I go this way or should I go that way? Because this shit never happens when I'm doing this. So that's where that energy was coming about, because Saturn has to do with time, where you're slowing down the time to take back fragmented pieces of yourself that are now rejuvenated because of the lessons you've gone through, which now allows you to express yourself differently, and it brings forth the fulfillment of wishes with the Nine of Cups showing up there. So again, Saturn in Pisces, for Pisces in your first house of who you are, the I am that I am. It's helping you with your persona, who you are. Saturn, Pisces for Aries, it is in your 12th house, which is you actually going through a period of recalibration, rehab, or rejuvenation, healing, you know, closing out a lot of cycles before you start again when Saturn goes into your sign. Taurus, this has to do with the 11th house, which has to do with social groups, friends, people that you're normally around, or your efforts in terms of being that humanitarian and doing projects that have to do with the long term. But this also connects to astrology as well. So for some of you Taurus rising, you could be finding yourself going through these Saturnian lessons, and astrology is helping you. Gemini is in your 10th house of your career, the way you're seen, the way you're viewed, the way you are recognized. All right, Gemini, Saturn and Pisces in your 10th house. For Cancer, it's in your 9th house of higher learning. This could even have to do with travel. This could have to do with you know, meeting up with gurus and things of that nature. Leo, that's in your 8th house of shared intense emotions. This could have to do with sharing your resources. This could have to do with people of power. Virgo, it's in your 7th house of relationships. So Saturn and Pisces is having you check what it is that you believe in based on who you are and why you're in this relationship. Does it even bring balance into your life? If it doesn't, Saturn is going to sever that. Because Saturn is also that reaper energy. It comes to collect. Okay? For Libra, it's in your 6th house of habits, health, work. Okay? So Saturn is coming in to see, all right, is this what you truly believe is what you are here to do? Is this the type of habits you want to continue on with? Is it actually helping your health? For Scorpio, it's in your 5th house. That's freaky. Saturn in your 5th house. So, okay, if you're a Scorpio rising, while Saturn was in Pisces, romance has been quite a test for you. Has been quite a test for you. People showing up not as what they seem for real. Okay. So, for a Sag, Saturn in your 4th house of family, roots, ancestors, Sag rising. So you could certainly have been doing quite a bit with spiritual work, working with your ancestors during this time, clearing out a lot of generational karma that you may have first and foremost created your damn self before you came here in another life. Yeah. Capricorn, it's in your third house of information, technology. Technology in the sense of social media, utilizing the internet to communicate. Capricorn rising. There could have been lessons that you have finally been able to liberate yourself from in terms of why you think the way you think based on the way you were raised or what you were taught as you know when you were a child that no longer serves you now. So in general, for all, Saturn and Pisces, which is this energy here, which is your challenge, it's basically what is it that you have to emotionally withdraw from, because that emotion, that energy and motion is going to accelerate forward, and this acceleration forward can put you further back, or you can actually move forward, especially with this clean slate that's coming with Saturn going into Aries on the 24th. Aquarius, it's in your second house of your finances, your values. So your Aquarius rising, you would be letting go of a lot of situations that no longer serve you, that literally stops your pockets. Or anything that has to do with cash. Anything that slows you up from obtaining that cash, yeah, you're letting that go. Or at least that was the lesson while Saturn was in Pisces. And back again to Pisces, it's in your first house, Pisces rising. It has to do with who you are, your image. You may have noticed that you may possibly, when Saturn goes into Aries, Pisces, that you may even decide to change up your look. Well, that's probably something you've been doing this entire time while Saturn was at Pisces. And it takes about 2.5, 2 years, whatever, to go through each sign. So yeah. Now, for the collective, the advice is to follow the activations of your heart chakra, or positive movement forward will allow you to connect with the activations of the heart chakra. And positive movement forward means that you are utilizing your voice, and this voice that you're using is influencing the fulfillment of wishes, bringing in new partnerships and alliances based on, this is the Jupiter and Capricorn card. This has been a long time coming. You've gone through a lot of obstacles and challenges in terms of trusting your willpower with this Five of Wands obstacle and challenges, or even responding to be, or even responding to knowing that the universe got you. So going through those type of tests and challenges to recognize, yo, all is well for real. The moral of that story is all is well. Let's see here. What's in the environment for the collective? Now, let me fill this out, because that can be so many different things right now. Yeah, let's do what's in the environment for the collective. What's in the environment for the collective? An opportunity to move on. An opportunity to move on from obstacles and challenges. In the reverse, there goes that. And this, it could be a challenge too, because this moving on card came out sideways. It's probably something you're not ready to do yet, which is why this challenge is here. You've invested a lot of energy into this, and you feel as though that this is where you're supposed to be. This is something you're supposed to be with for infinity, but no. This would be an example of something that you're connecting to that is a spirit but doesn't have a soul. Mental conflict. Stand your, yeah, there's that. Mental conflict, Two of Swords, Moon and Libra, your emotions connected to memories as it relates to significant relationships that are possibly out of balance, that you're being required to stand your ground with Mars and Leo. Mars is in Leo right now. The fighting spirit to trust your willpower, the instinct, the gut instinct that's telling you yes or no. At the bottom of the deck, we have love begins. Obviously, this is giving some of you clarity here. With the stand your ground mental conflict, no more obstacles and challenges when you move on. You have an opportunity here. Something's going to present itself to you that even gives you the urge. 989. There goes the 8. But in between the 9, it gives you the urge to want to end something because it's not bringing you that emotional fulfillment. And for some of you, it's literally blocking you from working on your craft. And living the most luxurious and effortless life. Remember, follow your heart chakra. And when you do, prosperity begins, and that positive movement forward is effortless. Happens quicker than you can even expect it to. But obviously, there's something here. We'll look into that. What's in the hopes and fears position? Because that's exactly why this is a challenge here. What's in this hopes and fears position? 990, 1990 could be significant. What's in the hopes and fears position is a fear of missing out when it comes to building a solid foundation and what it means to achieve building that solid foundation. But obviously, this is something that you're being asked to withdraw from because something has been exhausted. Speaking of the waters that we were speaking to before we got sacral chakra showing up here. You feeling is hoping, there's a hope and a fear of missing out. That's something that has been created for so long and just letting it go. Okay. Because this is not to be misconstrued with the message of the beginning. When it comes to this type of energy here in the hopes and fears, reflecting or being a response to the challenge, your challenge has to do with something outside of you because this is Saturn. But you are hoping that you are not going against, this is Venus and Aries with the 4 wands. You are hoping, and it's also putting you in a space of fear, that you're hoping to not let go of something that is actually for you. But is it though? Because in your environment, there's an opportunity that you're being shown to move on from, but you're going to have to stand your ground. And in doing so, this will connect you now to that actual desire you have had for so long that you may have swept under the rug because of all of these other energies that you've been surrounded by. That was basically setting up blinders and blockers from you actually seeing your vision clearly. Okay. Tell me more in this position. Look at this shit. The Fool card, new beginnings, going on a new adventure, starting over. Started from the beginning, the I am that I am. That Aries energy, because this has to do with that venture. And it's connected to the Pilgrim too. In terms of going on a trip, taking those trips, whatever that means for you. But pack light. You don't have to take everything that you thought you had to take, or you have to have all of this before you make this next move. And that's also to say that for some of you, the next move is just trusting that Source got you, the universe got you. That you can trust your heart in this new beginning, but you can't be hoping for it. You got to know that you're ready. And when it's something that was planted within you before you came here, once you move on from these energies that are literally merging with yours, you'll be able to see that vision clearer or sense it much clearer. Especially if you're on the journey or you consider yourself a chosen one. There are things that you experience in order to recognize what you're really here to do. You're the only one in this current energy right now that's seeing this shooting star. You're seeing this comet. You're seeing what you came here for. You're seeing the plan. You're seeing yourself as an extraterrestrial energy or an extra part of this planet, but also connected to it, an extension of it. the literal expression of having a soul and having a physical experience or a human experience. Not just the spirit. Some of you just been rolling around here with your spirit. Somebody rides motorcycles, because I'm seeing this here. It looks as though somebody got on a helmet. Just have to say that. And that's 20, judgment. Some new beginning. I keep hearing prepare from now. Look at that shit. 711, 711. Prepare from now, and your desire will come true. Prepare from now. Yeah. Instead of hoping, start doing. Start doing what you have to do to build a solid foundation for this new beginning. What's the outcome? Oh shit. It's your stability. The base chakra. Wow. Ain't that something? That's Saturn right there. I'm telling you. It's a clean slate, babe. This is coming out as the outcome, and the conversation is, I am connected with my higher self. Universe fills me with clarity and deep love. The root chakra activated. There is deep trust, safety, root. You feel rooted, safe, protected, and grounded. Some of you, this is literally an answer here. If you take this path that has to do with the fulfillment of your heart's desires, what will happen? Well, the outcome is deep trust, feeling safe, rooted, protected, and grounded. At the bottom of the deck, suffering in silence, but not no more. Mars and Gemini. You felt as though something would be out of your reach. But that's coming to a close. You're closing up the gap. You're closing up the gap by connecting to your heart chakra. The closing up of the gap is having that bridge, which is the heart chakra, between the lower dimension and the higher dimension within yourself. The root to the sacral is connected to the throat, to the crown, and your soul star chakra by the heart. And it's now 7:14. So there could be, the new moon in Cancer could be significant as well. Everything after this here, full moon in Scorpio, with Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius, it's given a completely different vibration in terms of what is possible. It gives an extra oomph, especially in the waning phases after a full moon, especially after a Scorpion type of energy that has to do with releasing, has to do with endings, that allows you to transform and have this rebirth, which is why it's important to, really do your journaling in terms of the way you're feeling when the moon is in Scorpio, when the moon is in Aquarius, during the time that Pluto is in Aquarius. So you can see how your energy is shifting. And the more you know, the more you have control over. When things feel as though it's getting out of control, that's your moment to have control over it. 699 on the screen. Because that's what helps you in terms of if you find yourself, you know, it makes you nervous to do certain things. It's possibly because you're not prepared. So doing these type of journaling, this type of journaling when the moon is in Scorpio and Aquarius, it'll help you to have a grip on the way your emotions are flowing through and see what phase it's in. If it's in the new moon to a full moon, you know, during that waxing phase, things are getting stronger or enhancing. From a full moon to a new moon, you have that waning phase in between, so things are being released. Use these every moon cycle wisely. You know what I'm saying? Each month, because that moon moves fast too. It only takes 2.5 days to be in each sign. People can say whatever they want to say about the moon. Don't get blackmailed. One more for the outcome. One more for the outcome here. One more. Ay, coño. And then you have the third eye as your outcome. You're seeing past what you felt was though was out of your reach due to deep trust, safety, feeling rooted and grounded and protected, and also being able to be tapped into your vision with this third eye. Well, your first eye called a third eye. And that conversation is, I am allowed to be sensitive. I enjoy my life to its fullest. I am allowed to live joyfully. Okay? Which is also connected to the element of light and the planet Mercury. So this is connected to you being able to connect to the idea and the thoughts that moves you past this energy of the conflicts and defeats, or feeling defeated, or the projections of it, with this Five of Swords showing up here, which is Venus in Aquarius. This could be you getting out of your comfort zone when it comes to connecting to people. This is certainly something that could be shifting here for most of you within the next 2 days. Again, with that Kazemi showing up between Uranus and the Sun. But let me clarify this this here. Emotional withdrawal. Tell me more about what's going on here. Wow. Mars in Aries, Two of Wands. Having to make a decision. Really, it's this Two of Wands has to do with you taking action on a decision here. That really reflects you. This is something you weren't able to do in the past. You constantly sacrifice yourself just to bring harmony to a situation, but notice how that fucked you up. Because those same people that you dimmed your light, they're nowhere to be found. Especially in moments when it's time to reciprocate the energy as to when you were there for them. It could be something as simple as you want to, some people not following up with certain things. You need to get them out your energy, because that really trickles into the way you take action or the way you move energetically. And then you got the Two of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. 2-2. You got this energy of mastery coming through. Also that full moon in Scorpio, helping you with these situations. And some of you are getting your just due with that energy of that full moon in Scorpio, where there's, especially if you have a moon in Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, from what I can remember right now. Yeah. But there could be some type of just due, especially in matters of people moving in a way to block your success or steal things from you. There's a lot of divine justice that's coming through here. Especially, that could also be why some of you are could be struggling with disconnecting from certain situations. You may not know fully why, but part of it energetically could be because of the karma that gets unleashed for your divine justice. Look at that shit. Nine of Wands. We've been talking about it. Moon and Sagittarius energy right there. Got Mars and Aries, Moon and Sag. So this is 11. Back to a 2. Constantly going through a situation that is not beneficial, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. For some of you, that means speak up. Because it's something you've been holding on to. And you holding on to it is literally lowering your body's frequency. Lower it's not conducive to your health, basically. Making yourself smaller to make other people comfortable, it's not for you. You have to stop doing that. If you have people around you where you feel where you have to move less than yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself if that's something that you're doing. Because even that, then people are uncomfortable being honest with themselves about that. It's understandable, but don't make it an understanding where you stay stuck. Make it an understanding where you make change. Okay. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles here, Virgo energy is something that you have a habit of doing. This challenge is showing up as something you have a habit of doing that slows you down, literally slows you down. 8 of Pentacles. With the 4 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, but it's how's it showing up to y'all? Let me see. It's showing up in reverse. Jupiter and Libra. There's some type of communication that keeps wanting to come into your energy, and it's just not, it's not in alignment to what you came here to do, the way you came here to move. Hold on. Okay. This could even be something that has to do with work, or something that gets in the way of you working. It takes you away from what you're passionate about. 6108. Let me go to the 108 cards here. Clarify. Excitement, passion, action, suspense, yeah. Wow. 5 of Leo, that's the 5 of Wands energy, so to speak. Yeah, and that's in your environment. There's an opportunity for you to move on from something that you have to emotionally withdraw from. You have to emotionally withdraw from it to make the wise decision. Head over heart decision here. Nose itching. Unlikely. It says at this time the situation or outcome is unlikely to change. So look at this shit changing at the bottom of the spread here. Something is not what it seems, and it's not going to change. So in terms of having a hope and fear that if you leave this or whatever, it's not, you're leaving something and you've been investing in it, you gonna invest in a further downfall, whatever this is, that's preventing you from going towards your heart's desire. There's something here also, what I'm picking up on. The seed has already been planted and the fruits are already there for you to enjoy. And you may feel as though you have to start over. But the moment you get back in gear of doing what you love to do, you're going to see how quickly this progresses. Accelerated motion, once again, coming back to your current energy, is accelerated motion, Mercury and Sagittarius. This is about you being able to see the vision clearer. And by you seeing the vision clearer, that means you're also seeing what's in the way of it, or what has been in the way of it. Okay? Not the fucking cross. Wow. There's that. It could be a belief here for some of you, some type of dogma. It's time for you to release, surrender, let go. And it's something that, there's something you love. This keeps coming, something 6111. It's something you love to do, 727. There's something you love to do that you gave up while you were in this situation, or while you were in this environment, or while you were energetically connected to this frequency. It made you forget your purpose, or at least blinded you from your purpose. At least for, let's say, for act 1 of it, act 1 and 2. But act 3 is you recognizing that this is exactly what was designed for you to come back into balance and have that strength and maturity and wisdom to really take on, you know what I'm saying, that idea, to take on that soul's journey in a much different way, where now becomes your pilgrimage, now becomes something that you do because it elevates your soul, your spirit. It's something, this is what brings you peace. This is what brings harmony into your life. Show me this. Oh my. Abundance. You got grapes, harvest. What's this? That fell. Baggage. Wow. Yeah, see? Okay. Yeah, there it goes. It gave you an opportunity. Look at that. That's literally the North Node and South Node. We got the North Node in Pisces with baggage and the South Node in Virgo. So this is you actually cleansing out significant relationships, because grapes also make you use the restroom a lot. So this could be actually you releasing, you know, a significant partnership one-on-one that you thought was going to be for the long term, but a storm comes in to balance it out. However long it has taken to balance out before you recognize how much you have to trust your heart and it being as light as a feather, you recognize it has to be as light as a feather is the moment you decide to move on from the situation. Anubis is on some of y'all heads right now. In order for you to get towards, you know, your purpose, because the North Node is in Pisces, you had to resolve whatever these unresolved issues were. All this baggage you were carrying. Show me accelerated motion. Look at this. Heart and home. Huh. At the bottom of the deck. Happy home, security, love, kindness, family, belonging, bliss. Yeah, it could be a false sense of belonging that you had to resolve. And carrying a heavy burden when it comes to that. The lack of bliss or the lack of belonging, especially when it comes to your immediate sense of a soul tribe with family, 4th house energy. You can even see what sign rules your 4th house to get a clearer understanding for you specifically. But show me accelerated motion. Accelerated motion, current energy, person of water, emotionally connected, psychic, empathic, intuitive, sensitive, heart-centered, feels deeply, takes things personally, healer, counselor, advisor, author. Accelerated motion as a healer, counselor, advisor, author. Tell me more about this. But again, clarifying the significance of this upcoming Cancer season. Some of you can even meet someone within the next 2 days, 5115 on the screen, that becomes someone you consider family or soul tribe type of energy. And this is someone you may meet for the long haul. There's a similarity and alignment of values. Within a few days, coño. So within 2 to 7 days, within 2 to 7 lucid moments, the situation or event in question will develop. It could be love here. You got roses, love, romance, affection, appreciate love, high emotional IQ. Yeah. You could be connecting with an energy, or an energy you've been yearning for. You may have been on your own through this spiritual journey that you've been on, healing so much that you disconnected from so much. 6116 on the screen. You went from 5115, now 6116. You may want to look up those numbers esoterically, metaphysically, and spiritually. Okay. Show me more accelerated motion. Okay. You have the library, knowledge about details that you're looking further into to move on, and then the universe. Oh, wow. The cards that showed up at the beginning with the train and the universe and the library and fine print. Looking into the details. That's the epiphany that you have then, because within 2 days, that Uranus Cazimi happens in Taurus, 27 degrees, which is a Gemini degree. Information, the details. So this is the merge between details, what's in the finer print, and the bigger picture. It could have to do with matters of love, where you are finding yourself even saying no to situations that you may not even be used to saying no to because of the past emotional connection you used to have, but you no longer do. 733. Yeah, you've learned your spiritual lesson in this. Outcome. Third eye, root chakra. First eye, root chakra. First eye, root chakra. I just saw a cobra in my mind's eye. Wow, you're home now. And then summer is at the bottom of the deck. Wow. The outcome has to do with the happy home, security. I love that so much because it's confirming the root chakra energy as well. Wow. Heart's desire, longevity. Yeah. Due to the boundaries you set to build your legacy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Last two. What we got here? Wow, baby and tools, new beginning. That's clear as day. Baby, new tools. I literally just smelled. When a baby's eating their yummy fruits, and you smell that after smell that they have on their hands. I just smelled that. You got baby here and tools. Cardinal. So cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Being practical with the resources that you have during these seasons, or during the time that the sun is in these signs or the moon is in these signs. Okay, that's something to look into. See the growth that you've had each time the moon is in a cardinal sign. Also look at the phase that it's in. So for instance, right now the moon is in Capricorn. That's a cardinal sign, but it's in a waning phase. So you're basically, it's basically you weeding out what you've learned from the lesson. Yeah. Now I'm smelling grilled cheese. Yo, something about your inner child here. Yeah, for sure. Yes. task at hand. Utilizing the desires and the imagination. What brings you joy? What's always brought you joy? Have you sit down and reflect on what it is that you've wanted to do. What did you tell yourself, when I grow up I'm gonna do this, that. And if there's something in there that you can still do now by putting the effort into it, that's what the beginning of the message of this life had to do about. Do what you have to do. You still have life and breath in your body. Go for what it is that you want. Go for what it is that inner child said and was highly aware before anyone had told it, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that to do this. You got all these solar flares and these earth energies activating the elements, the way it's activating the planet, helping you to be recharged into this God is energy. What God is, God, G-O-D is, generator, operator, destroyer energy. Do whatever you have to do to keep ascending and expanding. You know what I'm saying? Love this message for y'all. I got this, okay? Got it. Yes, you do. Let me get two more here. Two messages, source. Oop, okay. Excuse that loud bang. 737, two messages. Two messages. Cosmic ancestors, voice your concerns. Travel awaits you. That's what we started with the beginning. 1024. What is that? Scorpio. Voice your concerns. Light codes, as we were speaking about the way the elements are activating the planet. Telling you, voice your concerns to your cosmic ancestors to help you weed out whatever needs to be released, whatever remainder that has to be released. Because, again, that was part of your outcome. Your mind's eye, the pineal gland. The light of the body is the pineal gland. The same way a pine cone opens up, what's opening up for some of you is you're wide open. Your alchemical abilities are wide open. Pineal, the pineal, spelled pine and A-L. A-L has to do with alchemy or something of. Something of the essence of the pine. You may want to have that around your home, an open pine. That scent in itself can help you too. Where it'll open up your mind's eyes so that way you can get clear insight through your dreams, through your meditations, or through the signs that you see in nature when you're going on your walks, on your drive, whatever it is that you do. Wearing purples and blues could also be significant as well. Right? One more. What you got, babe? Ooh. Life brings new meaning. Yep. The new insight that you gained from going through the adverse moments or the adversity. Dark night of the soul, 11. Balance, bringing balance to this energy. Voice to your ancestors, your cosmic ancestors, because it's time to celebrate, beloved. The seed that has been planted that we was talking about, that thought, allowing it to blossom, treat it as though it is your child. And I'll leave you with that, my love. See you on the next live. Ciao.